Hey everybody, Billy from LM Cases here, and today we are going to take a look at our 4-space Pelican fly rack. So, as the name cleverly implies, this is a 4-space rack mounted in a Pelican 1630 case. So obviously the case is from Pelican, the interior and the rack is from us. So this is a deep version. We also have a 4-space standard version, this being the deep version. The deep version has a 19-inch deep rack shell on the interior here. So I wanted to start this video by showing the shell in the case, just so you can kind of see what's going on with that. So before we get into the shell specifics, I just want to talk about the dimensions here. So the rack comes standard. It's a 19-inch deep shell. That's from the front on the left-hand side to the back on the right-hand side. That is a 19-inch deep shell, once again, coming with standard half-inch rail spacing on the front and rear. And when I pull this out of the case, I'll show you there are adjustable holes here, and you can configure that to a 1-inch rail spacing on the front and rear. But as it comes standard, it has half-inch. So what you get with this is 1.5 inches front and 1.5 inches rear on the case, so that if you do have cables or connections or anything sticking out of the front of the shell, it does accommodate it. So if you look here, there is not foam on the front wall on the center section of the rack shell. So there are L-shaped end corner brackets of foam that keep the shell in place and foam shock mounted front and rear, but it also allows you so that if you have connectors or cables or anything going out of the front or rear of the shell, it's not going to interfere with the foam. There are certain battery backups and patch panels and things that will interfere with this. You know, when you put a rack into a Pelican case like this, you don't have the benefit of rack lids. So because of that, we wanted to make sure that we gave you as much space as we could while giving you still a maximum shell depth if you've got a turnaround panel or something like that on the front, which again I will show you in more detail when we pull the rack out of the case. So looking at the side here, you do have a 5-inch wide accessory compartment. So if you have power cable or anything like that that is supplementary to the case, to the inner rack shell, you can store it right there. So let's pull the rack shell out of the case and take a look at that. So in looking at the rack shell, this is built out of 1/2-inch Baltic birch that is finished with black texture coating. You get a heavy-duty black Pen L-Com handle. And as I mentioned previously in the video, you do have 2 rail positions, front and rear. So from the factory, it comes configured with a front or with 1/2-inch rail recess, but the second hole on the right-hand side of your screen there, that will allow you to do 1-inch recess. So these are just black carriage bolts. All you have to do is take a standard 1/4-20 lock nut off the inside, and you can move the rail back. So the rack shell is 19 inches deep. You do get in its maximum configuration with 1/2-inch front and rear rail recess, you do get 18 inches rail to rail. So if you're putting deeper items in there, you have some space. All right, that wraps up this video. If you have any questions, you can email me direct, billy@lmcases.com. If you'd like to purchase this case, you can at lmcasesonline.com, or you can check the link in the description below. Thanks for stopping by.